Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries, this is your friend MagicBrad here live and in person. Ta-da. Virtually. Not virtually, this is real. This is real video, and it is live. Because right now it's, look, my watch is off. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm going to talk with my fellow magi and friend and veteran performer. His name is Stephen HART. You may have heard of him because he's been there, done that. He lived down in Palm Bay, Florida, where I've never been. I've been to Lauderdale. I've been to Miami. Never been to Palm Bay, but I got to go down there and say hi. So where the heck is he? He's in the green room. Steve, oh. Hi.
Hey, if you've been to Lauderdale and you drove, you went past Palm Bay. Yeah.
I didn't drive, but we went down there.
You flew. Oh, okay.
A friend of mine was going down there because he wanted to get his pilot's license. So he's looking into pilots trainings and stuff. So we went down there and partied a little bit.
Yeah, well, you flew over.
That's right. And then we used to stop there, and before we go to Jamaica, we'd stop in Miami before we.
Nice.
Yes, sir. You know, I used to do that with some magician friends of mine. David Stahl, John Ivan Palmer, who's a hypnotist magician. And we used to go every year for about 11 years.
Wow.
Because that's what magic allows you to do, is block out 3 weeks, because there's no gigs anyways. So I know to be out.
Yeah, people talk about trying to wait for their vacation. My whole life is a vacation. Everywhere I go, I'm performing, I'm vacationing.
Well, that's what I like about being self-employed. In fact, when we did go to Jamaica, I would set it up. I would call, or not call, but contact some of the schools and see if I could do some shows there. And that way, all of my trips were basically a write-off, because
that's right.
Yeah. So there are advantages to being self-employed.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Why do some magicians fail
to
go full-time? Why do you think?
Well, there are a number of reasons why. It starts here.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to fail, then you're going to fail. But so you really have to believe in yourself and believe that the possibilities. So that's where it really starts. And I never seemed to have a problem. I mean, I struggled when I first started out full time back in the early 80s. And I had a family. And so, I mean, I remember struggling not being able to pay the bills sometimes. But, it didn't take very long when I finally figured it out that my career just took right off. And then I ended up making more money than both of my parents together at the time. And they couldn't believe it, because they always told me I had to get a real job, which I did. I did have a real job for a period of time, got a college degree. We worked in the medical field as in a nursing position. And, but it was no fun. It wasn't fun like magic. I always wanted to be a magician,
It is kind of interesting, because I'm sure you've had it after a show. People get up, hey, that was a great show, a lot of fun. So what do you do for real work?
Oh, yeah. They don't believe, they can't believe it. Yeah. And here I am, I'm 68 years old and I'm still working, and I get to work until I decide I don't want to do it anymore. Now, I'm not doing as much as I used to, but at one time I was traveling all over the country. When I first moved to Florida about 20 years ago, for the first 5 years, most of my shows were outside of the state. I didn't have the connections here like I did in other parts of the country.
Sure.
Anyway, so, but then I had to reposition myself and decide, do I want to keep doing that? And that's the thing about it. When you're the boss, you get to decide what you want to do, where you want to throw your energy. But the potential and the possibilities is enormous. As they say, the sky's the limit when you're the boss.
Also, when you're self-employed, you get to be more flexible. And with the new inception of the internet and with mobile phones and things. I remember I had a basement office and I was working, and my friend David Stahl, who's also a magician, he said, let's go out on the boat. He lives on Lake Minnetonka. Let's go out on the boat. And I go, I kind of gotta answer the phone. And he said, why don't you take it with you? Because there's no cord. I go, well, I guess I suppose. But I had this thing in my head that I need to be by my desk to book things. And it's not true.
No, today it's much easier to start a business because of the internet than ever before, than years ago. So you ask, what are the most of the failure is in your own head. We create these own obstacles as to why it's not going to work, and then you have your personal life. And I was lucky enough in those years when I went out full time. My wife at the time was very supportive, and that makes a big difference. If you don't have a supportive family, it becomes very difficult.
Right.
So that those were reasons. And then again, here's the other biggie. I mean, throughout my career, I have friends who are excellent magicians who can wow me and everybody I know, but they can't make a living at it because they don't know how to treat it as a business.
Right. I was just going to say that you talk about the belief thing. And if your family member says, you should probably get a real job because you're not going to be able to succeed at this. As soon as you start believing that, it goes the
Right.
other way.
Right.
And I know that a lot of people don't think about things as a business, and they think, well, if I lower my price low enough to beat the competition, I'll get more shows and I will be busier and I'll be successful. But it doesn't work that way because now you're working harder for less money and you basically go backwards.
There is something to be said about showcasing your talents and finding the right place to perform, so you can get the exposure. But I like being able to be paid while I'm doing that. And the one that worked best for me were restaurants. When I worked in the restaurants for 14 years as a magician, 14 years previously, and now 4 years in recent years. The point I'm making is people get to see you, and when they call you up and they want to see you, you say, come out to the restaurant and introduce yourself to me and I'll do some magic for you. And I did that a lot.
And the way I did that, I mean, you mentioned this, and I took it a different approach because I was at a hamburger grill place. And what I would do is I had a fairly decent database because of this event planner expo that I did. So I had a database of meeting planners that I knew that was their job. And I would do a postcard mailing to them, inviting them to come out and grab a burger. So now they're coming out there to see me. They're casually having a burger, and the audience is no longer Jack and Jill on date night. It's the event planner from General Mills Corporation.
Yeah.
So it's a little different approach because
right.
That's what, seeing me work live is much better than a brochure or even a
promotion. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always said that, in fact, I used to say in my newsletter or my promo letter, I would say, before you hire someone, make sure you see them live in person or a live video, because a lot of these magicians can create studio videos that make themselves look really good, but when they get there in presence, it's not the par, So,
yeah, you need to see the audience reaction.
Yeah. Right. If you're gonna hire someone, you want to make sure that they're going to be able to hold up under pressure and be able to deliver, and and they know how to present themselves properly.
Well, let me give you a little bit of a plug here. I got your domain name for when you're doing speaking, the Magic to Motivate.
That's one of them. Yeah.
The speaking element, and then you've created another website which is kind of interesting. It's right here, the Dollar Store Magic Tricks.
Yeah.
So this isn't like, you're not trying to compete with the magic store. This is more for people that might just be getting into it and realizing that they don't have to break the bank to maybe.
Yeah, everything on that website's under $10, but it's not just because it's inexpensive. Because there's some unique stuff in here, stuff that the average magic shop doesn't carry. And I've been doing this too long. I've seen so many things,
But an individual person that maybe they're a speaker or they're a salesperson, they're trying to get their foot in the door and break the ice. They can use these little magic tricks.
Right. Yeah. When I was doing motivational and training salespeople, I would introduce that concept of using a simple magic trick. I remember when I was a kid, the guy who came and sold the insurance policy to my parents for me and my brothers, he had a magic trick with him, and then he ended up giving it to me because he found out I was interested in magic. Yeah. And so, magic tricks open the door. So you're paying less than $10 for a trick. You can give it away, and if people are going to remember you.
And then going back to our little topic here of why magicians fail, sometimes they just focus on one revenue stream, and that's getting paid when you're doing a gig, when you can have other things. And
Oh yeah.
most magicians go right into, I'll just sell magic tricks at the back of the room. No. Why don't you do something that's a magical trick, like your rattlesnake eggs or those butterflies you got? They're not giving away magic secrets,
Right.
but there's still people could use those. Like
Yeah.
if there was a speaker that's trying to like break, or a guy that's trying to break ice in a sales presentation, and he brings the flyer for the product over, and he opens it up, and all these butterflies fly out. That's going to catch the attention and be
Sure.
memorable.
Sure. I've done that. Yeah.
But you can utilize these different magical tricks to increase your revenue.
Well, yeah. Well, one thing is you got to be creative, in my opinion. If you're going to be a successful magician, you got to be creative in some form. Not everybody's creative the same way, but you have to be creative. So you have to use your imagination. And when you're full time, you get to have time. You can focus on the possibilities of what you could do and how to make it fun. So you need that when you're doing this full time. You need that freedom to be able to do that. Yeah.
Well, like you got your dollar store magic tricks under $10, and say you do a corporate event and they got 500 people, and you say, what would really be fun is when you have all these people coming, they all got these little gift bags, and you put a little bag of rattlesnake eggs in there and some of those flying butterflies things. Every one of your guests could get that, and I can get them to you for wholesale.
Yeah.
Now you just sold 500 units instead of trying to sell in the back of the room.
Right. That's exactly right. What you're really hitting on is when you do this for the full time, it's good to have multiple streams of income. So I sell stuff on the internet, but I also, get paid. I get paid as a consultant. I get paid sometimes just for my ideas. But I love performing my magic. I do love doing the magic. At the same time, it is work. It is work. So.
That's the foot in the door, and I think that it really isn't that difficult to do magic full time if you really look at it, because
we don't want everybody doing it. Now the truth is,
I think there's enough room.
The truth is, not everybody could do it. It is not for everybody.
And the other truth is
we have to admit that.
There's magic conventions where magicians are doing magic to other magicians, so there's plenty of room.
Right. Yeah. And
it's all good. Well, I'm going to keep this kind of short. We've gone for 13 minutes, and I'm going to put you in the green room and sign this off. But thank you for your insight, and let's do this again.
We'll talk some more.
Yeah, more. Cool. Thanks.
Right. Bye.
Well, there you go, my friend Stephen Hart. We've been doing a lot of this and trying to help magicians kind of get into the full-time magic thing, or at least break out of the 9 to 5 and start doing it part-time, make some extra cash, because the price of gas right now is much. So this is how you can do it. And you can learn why magicians fail. You don't have to fail. That's a 4-letter word. Shame on you. Okay, peace, love, and happiness. MagicBrad signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good, be kind, be nice. Did I say be nice? Be nice.